So database partition also one of the major components. So it is the way of dividing the database into smaller chunks, like to increase the performance of the system. So it is another critical concept used to improve the latency and throughput, so that the more and more requests can be served. So here I can say I already taken the screenshot uh, for the database partition in the some year wise in a different database. MySQL 50.18%, and Postgres have a 40.42%. Then similarly, other DB we have SQLite, MongoDB, Microsoft SQL Server, and all. So you can see it is divided into small chunk or parts. So yeah, like as you can see. So after that, like also we can say there is a some property in the database, that is acid property on base. That is not, I can say, in this chemical thing we are using. This is the property which we are using in the database. Acid, like if you're already from the background, from the engineering background, you know like what is acid property and base property. If you're not, then I can also give the full definition on that. I can say acid is a like atomic, it is a like abbreviation of the atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. These four concepts comes under this, and base is like basically available soft state eventual consistency. So these two key concept comes under this database. Then we have other like SQL versus NoSQL. Then like we are designing the any application, so one need to be clear about the types of storage we are storing in our system requirements. So if the system is distributed in nature and scalability is essential, then NoSQL database we are the best choice to go with. And NoSQL database are the also prefer when we have a amount of data is a huge. So simultaneously, SQL database also favorable when we know that data structures are more important, and it is generally like prefer when query or complex and database require a fewer updates. So high we are like there is an always a trade off between the choosing NoSQL versus SQL database. So we have to analyze the data, which type of data we are trying to store. According that, we have to set the database and storing our data over there. So sometime according to the like business requirement, a polyglot architecture comprising both SQL and non-SQL database and used to ensure the application performance. So these are the like key concept in the database when we are using or when we are selecting. And after that we have a like scalability issue, and that is scalability in the distributed system. So as we know, like as the services grow and number of requests increases, system can become slow and performance may be affected. So scaling is the best way to address this issue, which involves increasing the capacity of the system to handle the more requests. So there's a two main way to scale. um, Scaling in the sense like we have to be optimize computing this, like lots of thing is come under that. So there's a two types of scaling, I can say, horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. And horizontal scaling is like involving adding more server to distribute requests. This allows system to handle the more traffic by spreading it across multiple server. On the other hand, vertical scaling increase the capacity of single machine by upgrading it with the more resources such as CPU, memory, and storage. So this allows the system to handle the more traffic by increasing the capacity of the single machine. And then catching is also a like major component and important technique, I can say, in the database. It helped to improve the like performance of a system by reducing its latency. So catching involve like storing frequently used data in the cache so that it can be accessed quickly instead of squaring a database. So however, implementing a cache also add complexity to the system, because it is important to like maintain consistency between the data stored and in the cache and data stored in the main database. So that's why the cache memories are relatively expensive. So the size of the cache must be limited to ensure that the best performance. Various cache eviction algorithms such as like LIFO, FIFO, LRU, LFU, and are used to manage the cache. So these algorithms are determined which data should be removed from the cache when space is needed. And After the caching we have like consistent hashing, and if you know about the consistent hashing, good. But if you're not, this is the like widely used concept in distributed system because it offer a flexibility in scaling the application. It isn't like improving the over traditional hashing method, which are ineffective for handling the request over a network. So, inconsistent hashing, user and server located in a virtual circular ring structure called a hash ring. So, the ring is considered infinite and accommodate any number of server, regardless of fixed allocation. Server are assigned random location based on a hash function. So, this concept allow of efficient distribute of request of the among data servers. It helps us to achieve the horizontal scaling, which increase the throughput and reduce the latency of the application. So these are the like major component which we are covering today in the system design concept. So if you have any query, please comment it down. And thank you. Meet in the next video.